That hurt. More verticality. Oh, late night. All right, welcome to the Straight Red Card. You probably watched it. We just watched it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and all that jazz. But yeah, USA squeaks out. Well, they probably should have won like 3-0, but we only ended up winning 1-0.
Yeah, if Ferrer could score a goal.
Yeah, he missed one.
He missed two.
Yeah, he did miss two. Well, I mean, one was harder than the other.
Well, okay, so okay, we'll just jump right into that. So Ferrer had two opportunities. One was one where he should have been able to score with his left foot, but he decided to use the outside of his right foot in air.
Yep.
And the other one, he didn't get his knee over the ball. And of course, he was probably more than happy because he took some contact, and Twelman talked about this during the commentary. But I mean, he took some contact. He probably could have fallen over and got a PK, but he took the contact as little as it may have been. But he realized it's me and the goalkeeper. I'm going to rip a shot. Skyrocket. So
I gotta get over it.
And
get the knee over the ball.
I saw the game. I was watching the game with some friends, and I was telling them, I'm like, hey, you know what? Ferrer can score, but I mean, his bread and butter generally is assisting. So, of course, as I'm saying that, Ferrer gets an assist, and then he almost had another one. I mean, he had kind of an odd game, both good and bad. There's some positives. But I also thought that it's interesting because it brought up another point, and I talked about it again with some of my friends during the game. But one of my friends has brought up a number of times how he doesn't feel like we need to necessarily play with a standard 9.
Yeah.
None of our strikers have really.
Okay, but then we played a false 9 and it looked bad.
I don't think it looked bad. I thought Ferrer had plenty of chances. So there's other reasons why I thought this game looked bad.
Well, Ferrer was dropping way back constantly at the end of the second half to get the ball. And so was Pulisic. He was too central. And that's why nothing went down Pulisic's side. Nothing. It was all down the other side for a long time. And then,
So why the reason why they're having to really push back that far is because Adams and Musa were practically along the center back line the entire game, or for the entire first half. When we came out in the second half, it was different. I think Berhalter may have talked to them and said, hey, guys, get off their nuts. They'll be able to pass you the ball 10 yards up. Let's spread this field out. So that first half, there was no midfield. It was basically, 5-6 people on the back line, then McKinney, and then the rest of the team up top.
It looked a lot like a 4-2-3-1 sometimes. It really
was
did.
janked. And quite frankly, I thought the downfall here was having Musa playing further back. And I don't know why Musa was playing on the left side. Was he trying to counter somebody? I don't know. Because every game that he's played well, he always played in a more advanced role on the right-hand side, along with Dest and Weah generally. And they have a great connection between those three. McKinney usually plays on the left, usually with Aronson because Pulisic's been injured for the longest time, and Jedi. And they always have a good connection. I'm not sure why the flip-flop occurred.
I don't get the false 9 thing when you got Pepi. I mean, if you're going to play down the wings and do all the crossing that they did, why not have a traditional center forward in the middle? To me, this is baffling.
I think Berhalter made that change eventually. I think he went into this game probably expecting El Salvador to sit back a bit and then hope for that counter. And what do you want? You don't necessarily need a target man, especially when we can't fucking lace across to save our lives.
Yeah, the crossing was bad by Dest and a little better by Robinson, but not much better. Although that one that Ferreira missed, wasn't that from Robinson? I thought so. One of the ones he missed
came from the right hand side, so it wouldn't have been Robinson.
Yeah, I know, but the other one where he skied it over the goal.
Oh, probably.
Didn't that play start out left with Robinson?
I can't.
I thought it did.
Head, so I'll go.
Yeah, I thought it did. Yeah, okay. But yeah, all in all, just first half just looked a little stifled. a little, as usual, a little constipated, a little overly mechanical. But there were opportunities, and you pointed them out, and those just didn't go in. And so this game could have been 3-0. I guess you just take 1-0 and just be like, okay, fine.
Well, let's take the 3 points. First off, first off, we're like what 10 minutes into this already. I think taking the 3 points, we'll take it. A win is a win is a win. You know. Now, it wasn't the prettiest of wins, and there were definitely things we could have cleaned up. We should have probably won again by multiple goals, but it is what it is. We got the 3 points. That's what we needed to do. Unfortunately, Mexico, and it appears Canada is also getting the 3 points.
But so it's all going to be crammed up top.
Just hope Costa Rica can stick it to Panama, maybe.
Well, that would make it a little safer for the top 3, wouldn't it?
Yeah, basically.
Mexico. Hold on one second.
So it would definitely, if Costa Rica beat Panama, it definitely would make things a little nicer for the top 3 teams right now. But I guess if Panama beat Costa Rica, it would put us all ahead enough over Costa Rica, who's in 5th place right now.
Yeah, this is the big game of the night, and it's 39 minutes in, and it's 0-0.
Which way would you play this, quite frankly? Would you prefer Panama beat Costa Rica? Because, again, that would assure the top 4 have a bit of a gap. So even if the U.S. manages to drop into 4th place, we still have a chance to qualify.
Yeah, I mean, if Costa Rica wins this, it kind of plays them back into the top 4.
Yeah.
Whereas Panama wins this, that's pretty much done and dusted. It's like there's 4 top teams, and everybody else is going to be struggling.
As the standings are now, we're 8 points above Costa Rica in 5th place. So maybe a draw works best.
A draw would be, that would be even better. That'd be the best thing we could get. If we could get a draw, it only gives them 1 point each, kind of cancels them both out, and leaves them fighting for that final 4 spot.
Panama will have 15 points. I mean, they're only 1 win away from being in 2nd. Of course, assuming that, say, Mexico and U.S. lose a match, which is possible, but who knows?
Yeah.
So obviously, there's a lot of questions in CONCACAF still.
Yes, and it hopefully doesn't come down to the last window. I'd like us. Now that we got these 3 points, we could go on, get the next 6, possibly, and just that'll be it. We can go into the last window, and we could breathe a little easier. I do have to say, person I was most disappointed with today, Pulisic. I thought he dribbled too much again. I thought he didn't pass it fast enough again. I thought, why dribble through 4 guys when you got a guy open on the wing? Are you trying too hard? And I don't know if Gregg told him to play that far inside, constantly cutting inside over and over and over again, but he did it. So I got to imagine that Gregg's okay with it.
Yeah, so the problem with the way that Pulisic's playing right now, in my opinion, when it comes to the constant dribble, and then make a late pass, you're going to be drawing, obviously, the interest of a number of players. And the thing is, that style may work better against playing when we play against a team more suited to our skill as a whole, like as far as just looking at the roster and like you look at the European teams and stuff like that, or South American teams. Playing against El Salvador, one thing that's a bit different compared to a lot of other teams in the sense that El Salvador, you beat 1 player and all of a sudden you're surrounded by 3 more players immediately. They're playing balls to the wall. They want to get that ball back. It's a little unorganized as a whole, and that doesn't play to his strength because he beats 1 player and all of a sudden he's got 2 players in front of him and he tries to beat them and then he gets stuck. Now the counter's on. And so maybe against a more established team that's going to maintain formation and not necessarily just swarm the ball, he might do better doing that.
Yeah, because Hugo Perez, he likes to press. He likes to do what Gregg wants to do, which is get the ball back as soon as possible. And so, you're going to be swarmed, and they play a very narrow block. So the only way through that is down the wings. And that's where we had our, most fruitful movement. And I don't know. I'm just guessing Gregg saw that. He must have seen that. And sometimes I wonder, is he just letting Pulisic do whatever he wants to do? Is he's like, hey, you just do what you do? Or
Probably it's possible.
Is he just is he like not telling him, hey, stop cutting inside so much, stay out wide and take advantage of their narrow front? So it's frustrating to watch what is supposed to be our best player have probably one of the worst games tonight on the field.
Well, and I think you brought it up perfectly earlier. The idea of keeping things simple. You know, if you beat a player, immediately get rid of it, or look for that open player a number of times, because there was quite a few times where Pulisic would turn, face the goal and start attacking, and if you would just play that quick ball out to Weah, he was open a number of times.
Oh yeah, absolutely was.
I mean, it's keeping things simple, and then Teicher even brought this up about McKinney a number of times today, because I mean I thought McKinney had a pretty solid game.
I did too.
However, there were a couple of times where he, tried to do a little bit too much here. And he brought the point, and we brought this up a number of times as well, that McKinney's best when he keeps it simple. Yeah. And he moves the ball around. He lets the ball do all the work. He doesn't try to do too much. Just quick, look for the open pass, move off the ball, receive it again. Keep it simple.
Yeah. He did miss that header. That was disappointing.
Bread and butter right there.
I know. He's been putting those away for Juventus, and then here you got the opportunity, and couldn't get over it.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing to bring up here too, because man, our corner kicks suck balls, and we have players who can get up there. I mean, Richards is good in the air. You have Zimmerman who's good in the air. McKinney's good in the air.
Yep.
And so you have these players. And the fascinating thing is when we do have a decent corner kick, who's the one that's always connecting with the ball? It's McKinney.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, not the tallest guy on the field, manages to get up and make contact with just about any corner kick that's in his vicinity.
Yeah, that crossing, though, those corner kicks have to get better. Again, another disappointing display there. I mean, some of them were okay, but there were a handful of them where you're like, that wasn't good. One of them was like a mile high in the sky. The keeper came out and grabbed it.
I made the joke. I was like, hey, at least we're going to get past the first line of defense. That's where most of our corner kicks go. That guy right at near post. For whatever reason, we just keep placing it right there. So
yeah. So I think the funny thing that happened as well, my mom called me at halftime. She's like, what's going on? This is aren't we supposed to be killing these dudes? I'm like, yeah, we probably should be winning right now. She's like, and how comes Roldan switch teams? I'm like, listen, I wish he had switched teams, but that's his brother, Mom.
Speaking of the younger Roldan, that was a phenomenal shot. The only chance really against Turner in the game.
Well, then I had to explain the rules. She's like, well, how come one brother plays for us and the other brother plays for El Salvador? I'm like, because their parents, they were both born here, but their parents are El Salvadoran, or one of the parents are, and so by FIFA rules, and I have to explain the whole thing to her. She's like, okay.
So does she just follow the U.S. team? Does she not follow the German team at all?
Well, she'll watch it. She watches all the games, but the thing is,
didn't you tell her the same thing happened in Germany?
Yeah, exactly. She should be okay with this by now. I explained to her why Jermaine Jones played for us many years ago. So she should know the rules. But the rules, to be fair to her, keep changing, and that's not really what she gives a shit about. But she just likes watching the games. And but yeah, it was rough because, all right, a few things here. Richards had some shaky moments, so there was some nerves there for him, I thought, at the beginning, but I thought he pulled it together. And then what was the other big thing? Dest's free kick. What the first one at the beginning of the game? What the fuck was that? What was that?
It was pretty shit.
It was to nobody.
Yeah.
To absolutely nobody. What else about this game? I don't know. It's really hard to get any deeper than we're going, because it just was kind of like, yeah, I'm glad we got the 3 points. Wasn't the prettiest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And we'll get into player ratings in the next show. But here's a weird thing. Did you know Belgium had games today?
No.
Club Bruges played Union Saint Gilloise or whatever it's called, and no Odasawi, by the way. But I'm like, what is Belgium doing playing a game today? Could be that Club Brugge could be missing at least, I think, 5 players off of their roster for this game. 5 starters.
I would have imagined that would have been a prime time for him to get playing time.
You would have thought. That's what I was thinking when I saw the game. Listen, I'm like, Odasawi's going to get to play. Not even in the 18.
Is it an actual match or is it just friendly?
No, it was an actual match. The Mexican second division played today too, which is safer. Obviously, nobody from the Mexican second division, or not a lot of them, would be playing on national teams. But Joe Gallardo went 86 for UAT in a 3-0 win. If people are keeping up with Joe Gallardo.
Now, so just bringing it back to finish it off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, by the way,
sorry, that was my bad. I accidentally muted my headphones, and you just stopped talking.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry I interrupted you there.
It works out, but the final thought on this is we called the press. We said, and you could see several times Berhalter saying higher, higher, higher. He wanted the lines and the blocks to be higher, 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 higher. And when you do that, yes, you leave yourself possibly vulnerable in the back. That didn't really happen. I mean, El Salvador tried some direct balls, but none of them worked out. I thought Zimmerman did a great job in the air on most of those, getting rid of them. But that's why Brooks wasn't there. One of the reasons Brooks is not there, because he's a more risky proposition running backwards or going towards his goal to recover. So I was a little surprised that Richard started instead of Miles. That surprised me. I don't know if it surprised you. I thought Miles had pretty much locked up his starting role.
I almost wonder if Berhalter looked at that and said, like, I don't necessarily need to play Miles every game 90 minutes. Mm-hmm. This is a game I probably can get away with it. And so what you do is you open the opportunity for, say, Miles to be ready for Canada and Honduras, and then Richards may take a break against, say, Canada or something, I don't know. And then he'll be ready for Honduras, and Zimmerman will take the break. So he kind of can rotate that center back trio. So
was Pulisic pulled in the 65th because he was sucking, or was he pulled because he wanted to make sure he got some rest?
Yes. I mean, that's my thought. My guess is that he probably had planned to make certain subs early, and probably help the benefit of the doubt that Pulisic was not playing the best.
Yeah. So, I mean, Pulisic didn't make a big stink about it, so it looked like he knew that was already going to happen.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when he's been pulled in the past, he's frustrated as he comes off, and you can tell, why am I being taken off? He's got that angry look on his face. Aronson came in and didn't do that much, but wasn't bad. And I just don't understand playing Zardes, but maybe this is the only game Zardes gets to play because it's his home field.
Probably.
I don't know.
I mean, that'd be my guess. I don't know. My overall take on the game is our issue came from the midfield. And it was mainly because Musa was absent, predominantly because he was playing too far back. And when you're 5 yards away from the center back that's passing you the ball, you're not really opening up space. When that guy that was pressuring the center back only has to take a couple strides and he's right on your ass.
I haven't got a chance to watch the replay. Obviously, this is the night of the game, so people know. But I swear to God, at halftime for like 5 minutes went back and just hit rewind and forward and rewind, and I was like, you know what? The reason Musa isn't further up the field is because Pulisic's playing his position.
It could be.
That's what it looked like to me all game long. And I could be wrong. Maybe that didn't happen all game long, but it sure felt like it. And, I was fast forwarding through it, so I might be wrong. But that's what it looked like to me. And it seemed to take Musa out of the game. It did let Anthony Robinson get up high, and I thought he was really good in this game.
Crosses still need a bit of work.
They need work. But
maybe instead of crosses, Robinson really needs to just focus on making a simple pass instead of a cross, because anytime that he makes a pass across the 18 to somebody, it's always on par. But anytime he lays a cross, it's right to the opposition. So yeah, the cross has just been shoddy for us. I'm not sure why we skipped that aspect of training. But
that used to be really good part of our game. Trundolo, even Spectre when he played right back was good at crossing the ball.
But yeah, so I don't get it. As far as Musa and Pulisic, I don't know which came first. Musa playing too far back, forcing Pulisic to come back, or Pulisic came too far back, so Musa stayed back. I don't know which one came first, but it needs to get fixed as a whole. I think, quite frankly, it stems from an understanding of players. I think McKinney and Pulisic just play better together on that side.
I think you're going to see a really weird heat map of player positions when it comes out, because it's going to be way heavy on the way aside to the right and then sucked in on the left, except for a singular dot named Anthony Robinson. That's what it's going to look like. I mean, and that's not good. Although, again, we should have won the game by more than one goal. I'm happy that we won it. We're still not looking like I would like us to look. And we're still not winning in that easy breezy way.
I don't know at this point, though. I mean, we all have our opinions, but I don't know if that necessarily falls on the tactics of Berhalter or if that falls on to the players not performing.
Yeah,
it could be a combination of both.
Yep. This is one of those telltale games where, we didn't look very smooth. A lot of times we looked very constipated as usual. So, I mean, at what point do you balance it and say, how much is this Gregg's fault and how much of it is the players just not being able to adequately do what Gregg wants? Which is a sad thing to say when you've got Musa, Adams, and Adams. I have a great game, and McKinney and Pulisic and Weah. I mean, these are some of the best players in Europe. And I don't really get not playing Pepi at all, but I guess give him a rest for one game and then play him the next two. But we'll get into the predictions for the Canada game as far as the lineup goes. I think that's going to do it for now. I don't think there's. I mean, we're squeezing a dry rag here at this point. Until the next time on the Straight Red Card, we're going to be back with player ratings for segment 2. Cheers. That hurt.